Have you ever had someone in your life who continuously breaks their promises? They tell you something and do completely opposite. That is a disappointment, and you for a fact you will not take their words seriously in the future. The real issue here is that you make these promises to yourself too. Just like you know when someone promises and fails, you know when you break promises you make to yourself. And over time, this habit of not keeping promises to yourself, it starts to affect you psychologically. And in today's video, I'll be discussing more on the importance of keeping promises to yourself. And during this video, I will mention some of the resources that helped me to build self-trust with myself. Hey guys, Kenny here, creator of Level Up Assist, where I discuss and share useful tips on how to build and achieve your dream life in 2024. If that is something you're interested in, join the Level Up Assist community by clicking on the subscribe button, and let's move forward with today's video, guys. So today's video was inspired by a video I watched from a beautiful YouTuber, Tiffany TV. I love her videos so much. She explains so much about this self-development concept. You should check her out. She pretty much explained why we start something and not finish it, and I would be piggybacking on that as well. You see, every time you start something and you don't finish it, you abandon that work, you are losing your self-trust. When you constantly let yourself down by breaking promises, you chip away your self-trust and confidence, and this leads to self-doubt and insecurity, which makes it even harder for you to set goals and go after them in the future, because there's that little psychological trigger in the back of your mind that will convince you not to do it, because you've already started something in the past and you've not finished it. Because why bother? You probably won't finish it this time either. So finishing what you start helps to build self-trust, because your mind now trusts you to get things done, and it refers to you how well you finished your last work when a new idea comes into your head. Also, self-love and self-trust comes hand in hand. When we talk of self-love, we think of self-care, spa sessions, getting your hair and nails done, but a deeper form of self-love is self-trust, keeping your word to yourself. If you say you're going to do something, then do it. If you say you're not going to do something, then don't do it. It's that simple. No, just kidding. It's not simple. So don't go back on your words. Build self-trust by standing on your words. Stand on business. I used to be this person that I'm pretty much interested in a lot of things. So when I start something, I would give up on that thing and not finish that project. And I would just tell myself that I have failed at this thing. Let me pick on another project. I started on that project, the same thing happens, I don't finish it, I give up on it. So now I have a lot of unfinished projects, and all these choices that I've made, it's pretty much ruined the relationship I had with myself and my self-trust. And this also might happen to you, or it's already happening to you. You start to doubt your own potential, you start to doubt your intentions, which makes you scared to set goals and achieve them in the future. So it is very important to build self-trust and keep promises to yourself. And this also can be said to be a repeated self-betrayal. When you constantly tell yourself you're going to do something and then you don't do it, it will gradually nurture the lack of self-trust, and it feels like every time you have a new project, you can't finish it because you've never actually finished anything you've started in the first place. So honor these promises you make to yourself. So different ways to build self-trust are the following. Number one is to set micro commitments. Commit to doing something significant in the shortest time you can, and then build momentum from there. Building momentum with your commitment is further explained in the book of Atomic Habits, which I will link in my description box. Don't start with big unachievable goals. Set micro commitments. If you haven't exercised in 5 years, don't tell yourself you're going to exercise for a year. Start with just a week and see how far you can go from there. Making massive commitments with long timelines creates opportunities for you to break the promise you have made to yourself. To start small instead, promise yourself you're going to go for a 10-minute walk tomorrow, and after that 10-minute walk tomorrow, you can go for another 10 minutes, and from there you build momentum. This is just something that I've learned from the books and resources that I've watched, and I'm just, giving my 2 cents, okay? Next thing to help you to build self-trust and keep promises to yourself is to not start what you're gonna finish. Yeah, Don't start what you can't finish. It is easy to always want to try something new, different, but remember self-trust. Before you make a commitment to start something, be honest with yourself if you will actually finish this thing. Do you see yourself still doing this thing after a month, after a year? If no, then don't do it. Don't set yourself up. So read the book or finish what you started. To know more about, I've linked the books in my description box. So the third and final tip is to treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Keep your words to yourself. It takes time to build self-trust with yourself, but every time you follow through on a micro commitment, you start to trust yourself a little bit more. It goes on from there, and with time you will have a lot more self-trust than you do now. So, and also remember that during this period there's going to be mistakes. You're going to miss a day or two. But remember that when that happens, it is easy to say you're not going to do it again after missing just one day. It is just a day and not the whole days you have ahead of you. So instead of piggybacking on the negative self-talk of here we go again, I knew it, I knew I wasn't going to do it, just revisit the importance of following through on what you said you would do and continue from there. Don't give up completely just because you missed the day or you didn't do it for a week or something like that. Just continue and do it. And lastly, you guys, remember, keeping promises to yourself is not a burden. It is an act of self-love and empowerment. It is a pledge to becoming the better version of yourself and to honor the unique potential within you. So go ahead and make those promises and keep them. Your future self will thank you for it. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. Make sure to like this video. Check the description box for the books and videos on self-trust. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.